Hey, what's up guys? So we are here to check out the new big update with Torchlight 3, moving one step closer to launch with the new addition of the relics and how they are implemented in the game. So first off, one thing to go ahead and take note is that when you go ahead and create a character with this newest update, you will also have these other hair color options, which is kind of cool. They all have the same light pink, but if you click on them, they are actually all different here. But the most important thing with this newer update over here is actually the ability to choose a relic. So you'll see all the different skills that the class would have. Basically, you used to have two skill trees, and then there was the relic, which had its own skills that would be able to be leveled up, and it relied off of a separate skill system, as in you wouldn't have to waste your skill points with your normal skills with your relic. So basically now it is shared, which basically, for min-maxing, it might look like a nerf, but the relics are very, very powerful. And you'll see all of the different relics, and you'll be able to select whatever you want. Previously, you were able to craft relics and swap them in and out. You can get a max level relic and just give it to a level 1 character. But now you're going to be selecting your relic on your character creation over here. So some of them are kind of more made for very specific weapons, like over here with Shocking Force. It requires you to have a mace in order to get the benefit of this specific passive. Now, with the Blood Drinker, this one is all about sword to get that specific bonus. Now, you're not locked into, let's say, playing sword if you wanted to use Blood Drinker. But what it does is it makes it so there is some more synergies. But now that you guys have seen it with the character creation, you can go ahead and select all of the relics. I'm going to go ahead and hop into a character that I already have over here, just so I can give you guys some gameplay of the newer mechanics with the new relics and kind of go over essentially what has changed with this newest patch over here. So one thing that is really nice is the game definitely feels a lot better. There's not as much rubber banding and lag. Now, there still is crashes with the game, and there's still broken quests, as in when you do some of the maps, you can run into the situation where it's actually impossible to complete the quest. This game, just as a heads up, if this is your first time seeing it, this is still in early access, and if you guys would like to see a full review or see like the endgame content, I'll pin that down below because that's something that always gets asked while I'm live streaming. They did recently reset all of the characters, so that's why we're on a lower level here, but we've completed the hardest difficulty, max level, and if you guys want to see gameplay of that, again, it'll be pinned down below. But I'm really here to go over the new system with this latest update. So again, you'll have your separate skill tree now with Cold Heart. Before, it was on its own thing, it was Relic. So now I have to put, when I level up, you get that skill point. I will have to use that skill point on these specific skills over here. So that's just something to take note of. And what I'm going to go ahead and do for content and a gameplay, I'm going to go ahead and show off the map system. This is kind of something that is one form of endgame content, but I'm going to go ahead and hop right in and show you guys the gameplay of the new relics. So how the relic works is it has its own mana bar or resource bar, if you want to call it that. But what it does is it will be building up. There's different ways to increase the way it would build up, but you have some skills that will actually spend that as a separate sort of resource. And there are other skills where it won't have to be a resource that you use. So these are some of the newer skills. So we have Ice Shield over here, which I'll go ahead and show you exactly what it does. So you activate it, and it shoots out a bunch of shards of ice deals damage, and it also prevents us from taking damage from the next 3 attacks. And then while we're building up this mana over here, you'll see that I'm able to use this skill. But this relies off its own separate mana system. So with that Dust Mage over here, we have like the light and the dark that we'll be building up. And then in addition to that, we will also be building up our ice mana. I'm just going to call it the ice mana or ice resource, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to go move my cam on the right side, and you'll see our objective over here. So you'll see that it requires us to collect Jar of Teeth in order to progress. Now, they have said that they have patched this, so like there wouldn't be as many issues with some of these quests not working. I literally just had it happen where I was unable to get enough of these iron pins to go ahead and complete the quest. So that was kind of annoying. I basically had to reset the map. And that's, again, very frustrating as there's just not enough enemies to go ahead and eliminate, so you cannot complete some of the quests. But one thing with this latest update that I really like is the game doesn't feel like I'm on like 200 ping, basically playing like on a VPN from super far away. As in when I activate a skill, I'm not seeing doubles of skills. This was an issue that the game had where like you would activate a skill and then sometimes it would activate 3 or 4 times, but it would never actually go through. It had the animation, and it's because it didn't actually go through. Sometimes you'd be fighting a boss and the game would just like lag out and it would just kick you, and it was one of the most frustrating things ever. I mean, it is an early access, but at the same time, they have said multiple times they have fixed this issue, and it just kept on coming back. And in terms of the lag, I would say it's pretty good. Still getting disconnects when you're like warping in certain areas. And in addition to that, the game itself, it does feel a lot better in terms of like stability, but it still is an issue where, again, you're warping to an area and you completely get locked out. I haven't had the issue where my character is unable to do anything and like the game itself is like basically frozen. But we'll go ahead and collect all the teeth over here. We'll go ahead and defeat the boss. But the contract system is in place, and that is also new in the update. Another thing I also noticed is that the pet skills, they all say that they're active. I want to say this is a bug right now, but I'll show you what I'm talking about after I eliminate these enemies, as this is something I've noticed with the most latest update. So you will see over on the pet skills, normally how this works is as you, I guess we can have another pet skill slot. Let's see which one is more damage. So these are all active skills now. Before you would see that one of them, well, a few of them would say passive, and you can only have one passive active at a time, but now they all specifically say active, but it still says only one aura can be equipped on a pet at a time, which again doesn't really make any sense because it says it's an active skill. Normally it would say passive, but that is an update. I'm not sure if that means that like if the pet activates that other skill, it considers it to be like the one that is live and you can equip more than one, if that makes sense. But I want to say that that's more than likely some sort of a bug. But yeah, we'll go and collect 2 more of these teeth. We'll fight a boss, and that's basically one form of the endgame content. There's also the dungeon system. And again, the most frustrating thing with this game is literally like lagging out, or just like the game literally not being responsive. And I don't mean to sound negative, but because a lot of people were asking me while I was live streaming the game, hey, is this game fixed now? I would still say it's not in a state where I would consider it playable for all players. You know, I'm okay with playing the game in early access, as in like, you know, I might see a bug here and there, but this game, it's frustrating at certain times, man. When again, like, you know how this one says collect these jar of teeth. Now this one we will be able to complete. But there are times where there is literally not enough jar of teeth on the entire map to actually complete the quest. So you're basically stuck in this map where you can never progress because you can't get to the boss because you didn't complete the objective. Now the dungeons are basically the exact same, but they'll have a modifier. The modifier might be that your potion's cooldown is really long, or your relic is really like long on cooldown. Sometimes you'll get a benefit, like it'll give you extra like gold, but in return, you know, you have some other negative modifier. That's basically what the dungeons are. But in terms of the core gameplay mechanic, it's basically the same. So now we'll go straight up to the boss, and we'll defeat the boss. We'll drop some loot, and then hopefully we'll get like another pet as well. But that's basically the form of endgame content in this game, as we are still really low level, by the way. It's just that the contract system is in place, so I figured we'll go ahead and do a map just because it kind of well-rounds a video over here. But yeah, we'll go ahead and go in. But like I mentioned before, if there's not enough like jar of teeth on the map, you will never be able to progress, and you just have to like leave the map, which is really unfortunate. But again, they say they fixed it, but I literally just had an issue with it just a moment ago. And I also had, the game still has crashing issues. And again, I don't mean to sound negative about it, but I just don't want anyone that is interested in this game thinking that it's all good and complete. They've patched the game, it's perfectly fine. But in terms of the game rubber banding, I have not had one instance of it since this latest patch, which is a good thing. I want this game to be good. I enjoy playing, you know, lots of newer action RPGs. Heck, I still need to work on that last Epoch video because last Epoch just recently had an update. But the game feels a lot better, and I could say that the game is moving in the right direction with, of course, this new Relic system. It definitely feels like there is more depth to the game. But if we're looking at min-maxing, because the Relic has to use your own skill points that you normally generate and use for like your class skills, it might make it so people are just going to level up the Relic, making it so whatever class you select is less relevant, if that makes any sense. I think it'd be cool if they gave it its own skill tree like it was before. I'm just going to go and throw a bunch of these on my pal, see if I have anything that's going to increase our damage. Now, since I am going cold, I want to get things that grant ice damage. The reason why I want things to grant ice damage is because I want to go ahead and be able to get the bonuses with my relic skills. So let me go and show you what I'm talking about with that. So you see on one of the relics over here where it says Jagged Ice passive, it says, let them feel a taste of cold and the power it offers. So there's bonus ice damage and there's bonus chance to chill. And when they are chilled, you might be able to activate something else. When enemy is chilled, you'll be able to proc something else over here. As you level up with these, as your character levels up, you'll be able to obviously unlock more of these. It doesn't require, let's say, 10 skill points in Cold Heart to be able to unlock this. It's just your character level. But again, I haven't put a bunch of skill points into the base class because I'm trying to, of course, min-max here with showing you guys new content with the Cold Heart. But this one's another passive over here. It says slowly form a second skin of armored ice. So this ability over here, which is the, let me go and activate it so you guys can see what it looks like. It grants us a little shield, and basically it prevents the next 3 sources of damage. Well, if I put another point into this is going to just grant me that extra passive. I wonder if it has a little hotbar or it's just a little indication if the buff is active, which, again, it will prevent 1 damage every, was it 70 seconds? That's a very long cooldown, but you can improve the cooldown of this passive. And previously, I'm not sure if they still drop anymore, but you can get items that would increase the cooldown of your Relic active skills. Now, I'm really wondering if that is cooldown for everything or if it's just going to be for 1 active skill. As before, the Relic really only had 2 skills that you'd be able to, you'd have like the Relic Ultimate and like the basic ability that the Relic had. But those are, oh, let me go and actually select, yeah, let's go ahead and get the pet. So we'll go ahead and just go ahead and release the pet. We'll go ahead and open up our chest. Previously, before, if you would open up this chest, sometimes it would take just forever for the chest to actually drop the, is this a shield? Oh, it's pants, okay. And then we'll go ahead and equip this. You can see there's bonus damage to great weapon attacks. You can kind of more spec towards basic attacks as the, well, there are some legendariums. If you guys don't know what this is, basically, if you want to think of it like the Kanai's Cube in Diablo, you can disenchant legendaries. You'll get some already automatically for free, but you can select a legendary ability from something that you have disenchanted, and it's, again, it's just without even equipping the legendary, you'll have part of the benefit of it. But we'll go ahead and exit this, go back to town, and this was another issue in the game. Sometimes you'd warp back into town, and your game would simply crash. You would warp to wrong areas. The game will still crash, just as a heads up. Like, sometimes you'll load into an area and the game will crash, and that is quite unfortunate. But the takeaway with this new update, I do like this system. Again, because of the way that it works, unless you're super far in the gameplay progression, as in like, you're very high level, I feel like because these are very powerful, at least this skill is insanely powerful. Again, it's 200% weapon damage. When we look at our other skill over here, it's dealing 90% weapon damage. But it is every second, so it kind of activates faster. But when we look at our Holy Bolt over here, it's just like single target, and this is just a lot more active. It doesn't technically have a cooldown, but my thought process with how it at least appears in the very beginning and what I've seen, the relics are very powerful, but it's going to make people want to just put points in the relic, which then makes the class that you select a little bit less relevant until, of course, you put more points into certain things. But overall, good patch, but I would like to see, I like the idea that they had before where the relic would level up on its own. That way you could have your own skill points for your character class and the relic would level up. And I'm hoping we can still respec the relic, as in select another relic. It looks like our characters, okay, so it does have a little icon. Okay, that's great. I like it when, you know, action RPGs tell you, like, you know, different buffs over here and what's, like, going to be able to proc. So that's cool, and you can actually see it on the character as well. But yeah, as far as the relics go, I would say this is overall a positive change for the game, but the game still has issues in case any of you guys were on the fence of purchasing the game because of the bugs and issues that still exist in the game. But anyways, those are my personal thoughts on the game. I would love to know yours down below with this new update, but that pretty much sums up the new update. And as I progress in the game, I'll eventually get max level once again, as again, they just reset all the characters, so we'll have to go ahead and grind it out. And I'll give you guys some more gameplay content and a more, I guess, in-depth thought after leveling up. But this is more so just quick little showcase of the newest update. But thanks for tuning, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and want to check out more Torchlight content, hit subscribe, turn that bell, and you'll see more very soon. Take care, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.